Hey, what's up everyone? Today I will be showing you how to draw different kinds of animals for RimWorld. In particular, we'll be focusing on the only module I haven't done so far, which is Vanilla Animals Expanded Temperate Forest. Now, I did run a quick survey on my Patreon and we established 5 unique animals that we'll be doing. One of them is a wild goose, which will be pretty much similar to the normal goose. The other one will be a badger, which will be the European badger, not the American one. We will also work on a beaver, a hedgehog, and a very cute red panda. So, let's begin. Alright, so you'll all probably notice that I'm working on Adobe Illustrator now. This is probably my favorite part of the Adobe Creative Cloud suite. It's an excellent vector-based program, and to some of you who probably don't already know it, vectors is what I use to make RimWorld art, and it's what I use to make royalty art for the royalty DLC. I'm pretty sure it's the best quality you can get, and not only that, it's also very easy to edit. You can literally color pick the entire shapes. You don't need to change anything pixel by pixel. You can make the outline thicker with just one press of the button, no need to redraw it or use the eraser or anything like that. It is a little pricey, but students get it cheaper if you're a student. If you've got the .edu email address, you can probably get it at 50% off or 65% off. We are also coming up on Black Friday, which will probably be another 50% off, so you can get it for, well, let me call it as cheap as 25 quid a month, which is pretty good. It's around $30, I think, $35 maybe. Okay, so we'll be beginning by setting up the document. You can see the Adobe Illustrator in the background. We go to create new, and I already have some presets for it, but what you want to do is set the width and height to 1280 pixels. The raster effect screens 72 pixels per inch, and we'll begin with 3 artboards. Now you probably wonder why these exact dimensions. If you look at the animals in Vanilla RimWorld, they are all 128 pixels by 128 pixels. What we want to do is we want to multiply that by 10, so we have a big enough canvas to work with. It will also allow us to be way more precise when it comes to pixel perfect designs and pixel snapping. At the end, we'll still export it as a significantly smaller resolution, but it just helps with the actual work process, you know. Okay, so we are starting off with doing the badger, the European badger. We'll probably start off by googling that. Now, I do know what the badger looks like, but it's always good to paste a couple of different drawings right in the middle so we can always compare them to what we create. Or, for example, color pick the actual colors. Now, with the colors, it's a little bit different in RimWorld because sometimes you want to essentially change the colors to make it more game-friendly. Nothing needs to look realistic, it just needs to look like it fits the game. That's the whole premise of Vanilla Expanded. So don't be afraid to Google badger front or badger side view, because that's essentially what we need. We need to see what the badger silhouette looks from the side, we need to see how it looks from the front. After we have enough reference material, we'll be ready to begin drawing. Now, getting the badger reference material is not the only thing we need. We need something that's already in the game that looks relatively similar, and I mean an animal that looks like it's roughly the same size, maybe the same posture. Once you import them directly to Illustrator, you'll notice that they are small, so just enlarge them to the same dimensions we have the canvas, which is 1280 in this case. Make sure that if you go to the view window, you've got everything set up the same way I do. Snap to pixel, snap to grid, everything needs to be the same. Otherwise you'll end up with little artifacts every here and then. Okay, let's position the the raccoons on the canvas. Let's make a new layer and lock the one with referenced images. And let's start by color picking. So we'll obviously pick the black color. Usually we make sure it's a 00 black, true black, so called. and just start tracing it. Now, remember that it's a video game and you don't need to trace everything exactly. It will be zoomed out, and in most cases you won't even see the tiny detail. So we just want to get the basic shapes out of our way. Shape of the head, shape of the eyes, shape of the nose. Yeah, there we go. We're tracing it. Yeah, just like that. Oh yeah, tracing it. Ooh. Now it does sound easy and it looks easy, but after some time you'll notice that you really need to pay attention to the shapes, so they are unique and the silhouettes are unique, because at the end of the day, when you've got 100 things like that on the screen at the same time, what you want to do is for them to be very easily recognizable. It's very easy to create a masterwork painting, a beautiful digital art, but at the end of the day you won't be able to see it. So you want something that conveys the message and that also doesn't take you as long, because you want to release that mod. You don't want to spend 20 years making that mod. You want it out and you want people to see it. Probably your favorite tool will be well, it's not a symmetry tool, but it's flipping. So what you essentially do is you do half of the badger's head and then you copy it, flip it, and you merge them together using the Pathfinder tool. As you can see, the click to intersect means it will select two shapes that overlap and remove everything else. If you don't see the window, you can go to Window, Pathfinder, and just drag it over there. There we go, we intersect and we just position it so it overlaps nicely, so there's no white spots anywhere. And that's it, we've got the front of the badger's head done. Let's just do the same thing on the eye and nose. Let's make sure they are white, because as we can see on the raccoon, the eyes are white because they are on the darker background. Now that's underneath, so we need to arrange that and bring that to the front. Now I think it's missing the ears. Let's look at the ears on the raccoon. Okay, so it's a very simple shape. We want to do something very similar here. Just like that. Let's pick a darker shape for the middle of the ear. Very easy, organic shapes. I'm using the Path tool all the time. It's pretty much the best tool you can use for RimWorld art. I'm not too satisfied with that. Let's just move the ear a little bit higher and now flip it, place it. There we go. Now what we need is we need to make an outline for this head shape. But first we'll start with the side. Now you probably wonder, Oskar, why are you not doing the whole badger front at the beginning? Well, I want to get the head on the side view done as quickly as possible in case I do something wrong and I mess up the style and I'm not able to make two of them the same, because you definitely want the front and the side view to look like they're made by the same artist, if you know what I mean. And the best way to do it is just to do them at the same time. There we go, we're doing a very organic shape here. It will blend in with the rest of the badger's torso, just like that. Now we need to add the black lines to it, the dark fur patterns. There we go. We'll pick the color obviously from the front view because it's the same animal, it's not a different species. Here we go, let's just make the eye for it, that's right. Now we obviously need the ear right here. Okay, so what we're doing right now is we're aligning it with the raccoon body just to get the rough proportion from the actual vanilla art. It doesn't need to be the same size or posture or anything like this, it's just to help us position artwork. There we go, raccoon head is almost the same size as the badger's head. We'll make it a little bit larger, because badgers are obviously famous for their massive heads. Now to do the north texture, we take the same head textures as we did for the south view and just remove the detail that wouldn't be visible when the animal is facing north. Well, move the ears to the front, just like that. Position it, change the dimensions a little bit. Excellent, now we're doing the outline. Okay, so the way to do it is we'll be using the Pathfinder tool. Just select the whole head, merge it into one shape, select that it's black and then swap it, just like that. Now go into the stroke settings and align stroke to outside and make sure that the joints are actually round, so there's no sharp edges. We'll probably go with about size 15 for it, just like that, and bam, that's the outline for the head. Now please notice that there's no outline on the head for the north and east views, it's only the south view that has one. Let's group it together so we don't accidentally move it or delete it, and we'll be doing the body. Now let's take a look at badger body. It's pretty interesting. I usually start with the east view. It's the only view that essentially dictates how the animal looks, because you can't really see the posture on the north view or the south view. So yes, let's trace it. Please bear in mind you don't need to follow the exact same dimensions as the animal follows in nature. You're allowed to take shortcuts. Remember that animals in RimWorld don't have legs. Now what we're doing is we essentially pick the color, but I'm not too happy with it. We might apply some gradient to it. So let's go into something called the freeform gradient. Now this allows you to create lines of color that blend in together. Just like that. We're using the special gradient color pick tool and pick the same shade. And now we'll do the same thing on the bottom, just darker, to create this sort of shading effect. Just like that. Now that looks like a big potato and I am very happy with it. As you can see, the dimensions don't really match, so we have to lie. Now the best way to lie is to resize something. Let's rotate it a little bit, let's make it a little bit taller. And let's play around with positioning. Here, as you can see, a great tool. We can select singular joints and just move them around. You can alter the paths to our liking, something you can't do in Photoshop. Okay, we probably want to do the north view now. Let's take a look at this little badger from afar. And we'll pretty much follow how the raccoon looks. It's dummy thick, how my friend used to say it. And we'll be doing the same thing, just like that. Now your best friend in here is the shift key, because it actually allows you to make nice straight lines and these beautiful curves. There we go, let's merge it together. Doesn't look quite right. It's because we're on the freeform gradient. If we change to radial, it's gonna be much better. Let's color pick. There we go. Just like that, position it nicely, perfect. Let's make sure the shapes actually go into each other so it doesn't look weird. As we can see, the white should also bleed onto the fur. So what we're going to do is we're going to change that into gradient as well, and just color pick that to be the color of the fur and the other one to be the white. Excellent, I'm pretty happy with that, and let's make the south view. Let's just remember to follow roughly the same shape as we did for the north view. Let's add a little leg. Well, bear in mind it's not a leg, it's more like a stump. On some animals you can't do it, especially on the ones that actually use the front limbs for anything, like attack for example. that. Beautiful. Let's do the same thing here, a little bleed effect onto the actual fur. So it's not just cut to white all of a sudden. Now if you want to zoom in and out so gracefully like I do, all you need to do is hold Alt, left Alt, and just use the mouse wheel. Okay, let's apply a little black fur onto the front of the side view. There we go. Now we'll be doing the good old Pathfinder trick. Let's make sure it's aligned properly, just like that. And the back legs. There we go. So what we're doing now is we're doing the outline. We select everything, we make sure it's all nicely merged into one shape, and then just literally color pick the outline we had for the head and make it a little bit thicker. Just like that. And that's the outline done. You can always change it to make it thicker or thinner, depends what you need. Excellent. All aligned nicely. Always double check if everything's aligned. You don't want a single pixel of transparency between the outline and the shape. We'll be using the width tool. It's pretty powerful. Essentially, you can change the width of any line, any outline you do, just like that. There we go. Let's just make sure that the head sticks out a little bit as well. It's pretty satisfying to do. I don't know if it's satisfying for you guys to watch, but it's pretty fun doing that. Excellent, we got only one thing missing now. We need a skeleton. So what we're going to do is we're going to search for desiccated raccoon. This is always the sad part. So you spent an hour drawing a beautiful animal and now you have to essentially draw it dead. It's pretty morbid, but that's exactly what we need, because otherwise it's sloppy, because we would have to use, for example, the raccoon skeleton, and it just doesn't look right. So let's copy the side view, let's color pick from the skeleton, and just draw a rough shape. It doesn't need to be precise or exact or anything like it. It doesn't even need to be realistic, as you can see. Remove that, and we are pretty much ready to remove any reference material. Good job. So yeah guys, that's the badger done. Amazing. Now what I'll do is I'll play and fast forward how I'm doing everything else. There will be 4 more animals. There's no need for me to go in details because I'm essentially doing them the same way. Alright guys, so that's about it. We have finished. We've got all the animals here. Let's go to File, let's go to Export, and we'll be exporting for screens. You just select the destination and we'll be making sure everything is ticked. Let's change the scale to 256 pixels, which is twice the vanilla resolution. And make sure it's PNG, and there we go. Export artboard. Thank you very much. Now, if you like this kind of content, please subscribe and like this channel, and make sure to keep an eye on anything I release. I've got lots of ideas. I want to do more tutorials. I want to do more mod development videos. So if you're into this kind of thing, just stay tuned and leave a comment saying what you think. Thank you very much and take care.